Greetings, my name is Chamomile and this is an exploration of the entire galaxy sector by sector. Today we're looking at 2nd Green Mantle's miscellaneous core worlds. This is the core, so a lot of these planets have independent Senate representation, but it's the southern core, so some of them are just the victim of Emperor Palpatine's purge of the bureaucracy, leaving the holonet with patchy and imprecise information. When you think of the core worlds, you're mostly thinking of the Arrowhead, the region of space with all the wealthiest, most powerful planets. The southern core isn't getting colonized by the Hutts or anything, but it's definitely not Coruscant either. For example, planet Mawan, homeworld of the Mawan species so pale you can see their veins clearly through their skin, was ruled by a strict caste system, with utility workers on the bottom. One day in the late Republic era, they realized that everyone's water supply was under their exclusive control, and they didn't really have to take shit from anybody. The resulting civil war ruined the capital city of Natan, and led to a decade of rule by rival crime lords fighting over what was left of the planet. The Jedi finally intervened to restore peace to the planet after they started using chemical weapons. Balosars are humans with little antennae. They're a different species, but also they are exactly like humans except for those little antennae. They're from the planet Balosar, which has been completely ruined by megacorporations even before the Imperial era. The native Balo mushrooms are cultivated on an industrial scale by corporations like Biotech Industries and Faircrest Pharmaceuticals to make death sticks, and there's a huge death stick smuggling underworld on the planet, stealing death sticks from off the manufacturing line to sell for less than the cost of production. Megacorps encourage the Balosar underworld to target their rivals, so the whole planet is constantly consumed in low-grade, corporate-backed gang warfare. The entire surface has been devastated by millennia of totally unregulated, unrestrained industrial production. The planet's buildings are said to reach so high that light doesn't reach the surface, and yet the total population is under 10 billion, a total population implosion from the planet's peak. The Balo mushrooms are grown underground in deep caverns, the only part of the planet that hasn't been completely poisoned. Ricopia is a desert world and allegedly home to a hidden fortress of the Sayugi Dervishes, an order of Force-sensitive assassins hunted seemingly to extinction by the Jedi during the High Republic era. The Sayugi culture in general definitely still exists on the poisoned world of Ricopia, where they float on sulfuric seas on hover barges and have a reputation for banditry and general skullduggery. By the late Republic era, the Jedi seemed pretty satisfied that the Dervishes were all gone, despite the Sayugi nomads continuing to make a nuisance of themselves on Ricopia, and the Dervishes haven't emerged from hiding in the Imperial or New Republic eras. But hey, they are assassins, so maybe they're just too sneaky for anyone to notice them coming to and from their hidden fortress on their assassination missions. Woo! Perma is another criminal world in the southern core, home to the Perma crime families, although there's no details beyond that. Just one more planet ruining the core world's pristine reputation for white-collar embezzlement and graft by getting involved in dirty blue-collar street crime. The Jacapri of planet Jacapris have no physical description and are named after their homeworld. They do have a distinct polytheistic culture with many legends concerning the birth and death of the galaxy, so they aren't totally undocumented, but I still suspect they are a planetary demonym mistaken for a species name. Humans or Duros or whatever can develop a polytheistic culture, you don't need an extra set of arms for that. Gamma Sen are a species with 2 thumbs and flat facial features from the planet Gamma. Supposedly they pledge their loyalty to Emperor Palpatine's clone. That's really the only thing on record about them. Not a great thing to be remembered for. I have a policy of including all species homeworlds because I don't want to imply that a species is too unimportant to be worth including, but given the one fact on record about them, maybe the Gamma Sen would have preferred if I left them out. Colomus is supposedly home to the Colomai, short humanoids with enormous heads, especially proportionate to their small bodies. These guys' physical bodies allegedly withered away because of their focus on mental acuity. That's not how evolution works. Having such a puny birth canal would only make birthing a larger cranium more dangerous for both mother and child, which means the mother is less likely to live to produce more children, and the child is less likely to survive long enough to produce children of their own. Fewer children means evolutionary pressures against the trait, not for it. Anyway, however these guys actually evolved, Colomus was the site of a relatively major battle in the First Great Schism of the Jedi Order, very early on in the Republic's history, before the Tianese War, when it was entirely contained in the core worlds and colonies. Back then, the Republic was in contact with the Jedi homeworld of Ossus near the Tion cluster, but the Jedi weren't part of the Republic. So this war within the Order was fought between a couple of thousand of wizard monks, not massive armies. The battle on Colomus was fought between less than 100 total combatants, and to the Republic, it was just an incident of political violence as part of an internal conflict in a foreign nation that they were moderately friendly with. It was concerning that the fight happened in Republic space, but it was in an uninhabited ravine, so nothing ever really came of it. Planet Letau is the homeworld and namesake of the Legions of Letau, the Jedi breakaway organization that fought the Jedi Order in the First Great Schism. Latau was firmly in Republic space, but it was not yet colonized by any Republic members. The legions of Latau were emphatically pro-Republic, hoping to ally with the Republic against the Jedi. The Republic didn't bite, though. They weren't formal allies of the Jedi or anything, but they were perfectly friendly with them and didn't want to be involved in this war. The skirmish on Columbus was the first time the tension between the Legion and the Jedi flared up into violence, and the Legions lost. The Jedi followed up with a full-scale assault on Latau, which succeeded, and although some of the Latau leadership escaped, the Jedi hunted them down pretty quick. The Republic did not like that the Jedi had staged a full-scale planetary invasion in Republic space, but although Latau was well within the boundaries of the Republic, it was not a part of any Republic sector, and it had a population of less than 100,000, so they let it slide. Planet Balassa was sympathetic to the Jedi after Order 66, and while they maintained nominal semi-sovereignty as an Imperial member world with Senate representation ruled by their own planetary Senate, in practice Emperor Palpatine gave the planet over to Inquisitor Malorum to hunt down any Jedi who may have come to Balassa looking for shelter. Rendili is more the sort of world you'd think of as being a core world. It's the headquarters for Rendili Star Drive, Rendili Hyperworks, Rendili/Ventravalis Drive Yards, and Rendili Vehicle Corporation. I don't know if it's a law that all corporations headquartered on the planet have to have Rendili in their name, but it would explain a lot. Rendili's population is allegedly 600 billion, but it also looks like this from orbit. A population of 600 billion should cover the entire land surface of the planet and city, although not necessarily the oceans, and that clearly hasn't happened. My guess, someone added an extra 0 by mistake. Although 60 billion is enough that I'd expect to be able to see multiple megacities from space. Maybe if there's one giant megacity on the other side of the planet that covers up like a third of the surface, leaving the planet largely non-urban on this side? Or maybe they accidentally added 2 zeros and Rendili has a pretty standard population of 6 billion. There's a bunch of other core worldy planets in Green Mantle. Samaria is a desert planet that mostly manufactures droids. Radani Prime is the headquarters of Rithani Products, which makes machine parts for walkers, including the AT-AT and the AT-ST, which made them pretty loyal to the Empire. Cedratus is home to the galaxy's premier league of gladiator walker combat, and Trellin is possibly the most nondescript major world in the galaxy, and yet somehow got a moderately significant trade route named after them. I say Trellin is the most nondescript, but it's probably tied with Lansono. Lansono is represented in the Galactic Senate, so it's gotta be a reasonably significant planet, but I'll be damned if I can find a single fact about it. The only record remaining is that Senator Candabrine Boo supported the Military Creation Act at the start of the Clone Wars.